see friends of mine who are so close with their siblings.
Really?
Have so many stories to tell and memories to share, and we were never allowed that.
That's sad. How about your situation? You were telling me something about you had to move a lot. You were moved around a lot?
Yeah.
In different schools?
Never attended the same school for consecutive years until my junior and senior year in high school. From Ohio to Colorado and then back to Florida.
Yeah. But...
sorry, go ahead.
Your schools were... How many schools did you go to? How many different schools?
I don't know. I would say probably 6 or 7.
6 or 7? That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah, even the small town in Colorado that we lived in, I was in from 7th to 9th grade. There were 2 junior highs, and every year I went to the opposite one. So even though we were in the same town, I was switching schools.
Yeah. So did that cause you to have a lot of friends or less friends?
In that town, it wasn't a big issue because the town was so small you could walk from one side to the other. But all in all, yes, a lot. I'd say it created a lot of problems as far as friendships and activities, trying to be on sports teams. And
tell us about that. The sports team. What happened?
Well, when you're switching schools all the time, you're always the new kid. So, I mean, a lot of times if you've earned a position on a team, you're kind of the incumbent, and someone would have to take that from you, where when you're the new kid, you're always having to try to prove yourself and earn that.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you had an episode there with 10 years, and then finally, what happened there after you finally got to find out where your mom was?
I had signed up for delayed entry into the Army Intelligence Corps, and wanted to back out of it. My recruiter wouldn't let me, so I quit school, which upset my dad, and we had a falling out, and I left and just left him a note while he wasn't home and told him that I was leaving to go find my mom. And about 24 hours later, I got a phone call from my mom. I hadn't gone anywhere. I was still in Jacksonville at my girlfriend's house, but within 24 hours time, he had contacted her and contacted my mother and told her that I was missing, and gave her my girlfriend's phone number. So my mom called there, and Jodie and her husband and my mom all drove to Jacksonville and picked me up and took me back to South Florida where they live.
Okay, but weren't you surprised when he called your mom out of the blue?
Yeah.
When he said he didn't know where she was all these years, right?
Right. I wouldn't say that I was surprised that he contacted her, because my note said I was going looking for her, but what surprised me was that in less than 24 hours he was able to do that, and in turn have her call me back, which definitely proved to me that it wasn't any big mystery. He probably knew all along.
He had known all the time, right?
Yeah, he had
where
known
she
how
was,
to
but told
contact her.
you
Yeah.
he did not know where she was, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, Jodie has something to read to you.
Okay, I wrote this last year.
She wrote this for you.
Well, it was mostly just to reflect how the feelings I was feeling the day in 5th grade and through the years, but it's called My Little Drummer Boy. Sometimes it's hard thinking back, but the memory is still so clear. The pain is dark and black, and I still can't face that childlike fear. When they snatched you from my grip, I went screaming through the halls. And now my heart blood slowly drips. Can you hear my agonizing calls? My little drummer boy, I will find you if I can. I can hear the distant beat of your little drummer hands. Lost years without you here. I tried to pretend that you weren't gone. I might not find you is my worst fear. My heart has hurt for far too long. How could they do that to you, or even that to me? Selfishness is what is true. They'll get theirs, I believe. Time's gone by so fast. I'm still stuck in that dark place. The faded memories I hope will last until I see your smiling face. My little drummer boy, I will find you if I can. I can hear the distant beat of your little drummer hands. Of your little drummer hands. Of your little drummer hands. Of your little drummer hands.
Did you like that?
Yes, I did. I love you, sister.
I love you too.
Is that the first time you said that to each other?
No.
No?
No, but it is the first time I've heard that poem.
Oh, that's a nice poem, isn't it?
Yes.
That was in her heart all these years, and she finally wrote it down. And so, didn't you want to ask her something? Did you want to ask her if she could come see you?
Yes, I love that very much. She actually got to speak to my son for, I think, the first time she's actually spoke to him last night, and he's going to be 8 years old soon.
Where are you located?
I'm sorry?
Where are you located?
In Garnett, Kansas. It's about an hour south of Kansas City.
Wow, okay. Real quick, is it cold up there?
Yeah, today it's about 50 degrees, and the wind's blowing like crazy, and it's raining.
That's my turn.
Gotta add a little lightning to it. Okay, I was just kind of curious where you were located.
So, Michael, is there anything you'd like to add? I know that you had such a rough time, really. I mean, back and forth and back and forth. And is there anything you would like to say to the parents out there?
For anybody that's been through what I've been through, and to still have the amount of love and caring that I do for my parents, I think that both of them are very lucky. I think there would be a lot of people that, having gone through what I've been through, would distance themselves from their parents totally and harbor a lot of ill will, and I've chosen to look past that. I have, since I've become a grown man, had to have talks with both of my parents that when they decide to bring up the past and bash on each other, that I won't tolerate it. What their problems are their problems, and when I was little they were forced to be my problems, but now I don't have to put up with it. So as long as they don't talk bad about each other in front of me, then we get along just fine. But,
So that's how it affected you. There was one thing that affected you a lot, and that was when you had to choose which parent that you wanted to live with. Can you tell us about that?
yeah, after I guess back then they didn't really call them kidnappings, but I was taken by the non-custodial parent on several occasions, and finally when the court stepped in, they appointed a guardian ad litem to interview me and basically have me make a decision on which parent that I wanted to live with. At the time I was, I don't remember exactly, I was either 7 or 8.
You were only 7 or 8 when they made you choose between your parents, is that right?
Yes. And I was asked a lot of very pointed and probably not age-appropriate questions, like regarding discipline and...
Can you tell us one of them or a couple?
they asked if anybody ever touched me, like, I guess in a bad way, who disciplined me more, what types of discipline was I spanked, for what reasons, and basically I was forced to make a choice on what parent I wanted to live with, and at the time, my father and stepmother lived in a rural setting on a pretty big piece of land in a big house. Had a go-kart, mini bike, video games, which at the time were just Pong, but still that was the top of the line at the time. And my mom and my stepfather, I don't even actually believe they were married yet at the time, but they were struggling, and they lived in a suburb of Columbus, and I believe it was a 2-bedroom apartment. And because my dad had custody of me at the time, I was only with my mom on weekends, so I didn't have a lot of friends there. Where at my dad's house, most of my friends, because that's where I spent the majority of my time, were there. So those are the types of things that a child that age is going to base their decision on, not who's going to give them the best care or who.
Did you actually have to say, I want to live with my dad? Did you have to say those words?
Yes. It wasn't the type of thing where I was just asked questions and then the court-appointed representative, the guardian ad litem, made what he thought was the best decision for me. I had to make the decision.
They left it entirely up to you as a child.
Yes. And the questions he asked were probably more so based that if I made a decision that they thought was not in my best interest, then they could intercede.
I see. Wow. That's a big decision for a little boy. I think we're going to take a break now, and we'll continue with this story next week.
Hang up. You can say goodbye to him.
Goodbye, Mike. But it's not. But it's not goodbye. It's good night. Remember?
Yes. Good night.
So you can take a break.
Yeah. So, do you think we should call him back, or just go on with the story, or do you think that?
That was good, I think, wasn't it?
Huh?
Right there.
Yes.
You think that was good, right?
I thought it was good. Yeah.
Yeah.